Hey everybody, I'm JimClassic and you are watching Geekin It. And for today's video, I want to do something a little bit different tonight than a toy review. As much as I enjoy doing toy reviews, I got to do a lot of them. And, I kind of got away from doing the other things that I'm interested in for this blog. So, which is why, which is one reason why I did my Ahsoka reviews. But, anyway, I noticed this a couple of days ago, and I'm kind of surprised that, well, nobody's really talking about this, whether to gloat or to cry foul. But, maybe this just isn't a big enough issue that most people, most geeks, most nerds, such as myself, really just aren't going to bother to talk about it. Regardless, I have some thoughts on this, and it's been in my head for a couple of days, so I figured I'm just going to get it out now, talk about it, and, if anyone wants to share their thoughts in the discussions, in the comment section, please tell me your thoughts. But regardless, let me get to the article, which was posted on October 4th on TrekMovie.com. I'm a member of several Facebook Star Trek groups, and I happen to notice this on one of them. And it has to do with Star Trek Lower Decks, and I suppose the possibility of it getting canceled. Starting with the headline, Mike McMahon calls for fans to help keep Star Trek Lower Decks from facing the same fate as Prodigy. For those of you who do not know, Star Trek Prodigy was an animated series, an animated Star Trek series on Paramount Plus, which was canceled after one season. And apparently the showrunner is, I guess, trying to run interference out of fear that his show might be canceled. But anyway, let's read the article and just see what he's really talking about. October 4th by Aaron Bosick. The currently streaming fourth season of Star Trek Lower Decks continues to build both series lore and fan loyalty. Okay, well, if you say so. Not only has viewer response been strong, but Season 5 was confirmed to be in the works almost 6 months before Season 4 debuted. While these are outwardly positive signs for the health of Lower Decks as a series, showrunner Mike McMahon is cautious not to conflate current success with future security. I think success should be in quotes, personally, but yeah. Changes at Paramount Plus have Lower Decks showrunner concerned. When discussing the direction of the Star Trek franchise with Cinema Blend, McMahon deliberately stopped short of taking a 6th season of Lower Decks for granted. McMahon was quoted saying, listen, we're in weird times. Everything is changing. I think everything's going to continue to change. I would say nothing is safe. I don't have any bad news for anyone, but also, I think you shouldn't assume that this stuff is going to stick around unless you vocally and watch it early on. Unless you vocally and watch it early on. Maybe I don't know. I think he's being misquoted or he tripped over his own words. I do not know if we're going to have another season after the season we're working on right now, Season 5. Lower Decks could very well be a 5-season show. I'm not going to lie, I'm surprised it lasted 1 season, but, that's all I got to say about that for right now. While McMahon may have hoped to match the 7-season run of the shows in TNG era that inspired his animated series, or exceed it, that was a different time, with a completely different business model. Things have changed. From the birth of the streaming era a decade ago, leading to the big spending of the streaming wars, which saw multiple Star Trek shows launch on CBS All Access, later rebranded as Paramount Plus because CBS All Access sucked. Now, Paramount Plus, which I hear also kind of sucks, is joining other media companies by pulling back on spending for original content. And that's probably because of the WGA strike that just got resolved. To be perfectly honest, that probably has a lot to do with the strikes. Just today, Paramount canceled the relaunched iCarly after that series ran for 3 seasons. Perhaps the most visible example of the unpredictability of the streaming model and how it impacts Star Trek is the current status of Star Trek Prodigy. After finishing its first complete season, the show was removed from Paramount Plus, erased from existence. Even though work continues on a second season as Paramount looks to find a new home for the show, fan response to the Prodigy removal was swift, flooding social media with hashtag #SaveStarTrekProdigy. I'm not going to lie, I can't really find a lot of Save Star Trek Prodigy on social media. I wouldn't say flooding social media, but you do run into it from time to time. And buying official releases of Season 1 on physical media, McMahon has Prodigy and other ending Trek shows in mind as he tells Cinema Blend he is hoping for that kind of fan energy for Lower Decks. You want fan energy for Lower Decks, not this. There's not a lot of fan energy going on right now. I mean, not really, not a lot. He wants a boom instead of a meh. Right now, we're just getting a meh. But anyway, I'm going to continue on. So, McMahon was quoted as saying again, "So, if you love Lower Decks as much as I do, I would say make sure to watch it and get people to watch it now. A letter writing campaign after a show gets canceled, it's helpful, but what's more helpful is campaigning to get more eyes on the show when it's airing because it gives me the ability to push for more seasons. I would love to finish Lower Decks with a plan that I have for it. I would say take Prodigy looking for a new network, to take a look at Picard being wrapped up in Season 3, and at Discovery wrapping up as well. I would say read those as signs that if you want more Lower Decks, you should be vocal about it now and not wait." While it is unlikely Paramount would remove Lower Decks like it did with Prodigy, and work on the 5th season has already started, so that it still seems like it will make its way to the streaming service. However, McMahon comments make it clear that the 6th season is not a given. More Lower Decks if opportunity allows. Notable with McMahon's words is that there is a plan for Lower Decks that it takes beyond its current 5 seasons. Ending the series early would necessitate a rush to write a full conclusion, and while McMahon and his writing team are likely prepared for that scenario, they want the fans to know it's possible to deliver more seasons of Lower Decks given the opportunity. The Lower Decks team is hitting its stride with its 4th season. In the words of supervising director Barry Kelly, they are now performing like a well-oiled machine. Ideally, Season 5 should be a time to set Lower Decks up for a long, well-crafted finish rather than quickly cap it in order to move on to the next project. Star Trek has a long, proud history of fan campaigning, from the successful push to get a 3rd season of Star Trek, the original series, to the unsuccessful push to get a 5th season of Enterprise. A popular online petition followed the 2nd season of Discovery may have helped sell Paramount Plus on launching Star Trek Strange New Worlds. These are the efforts McMahon references when talking about the letter-writing campaigns. But in the era of streaming and accelerated show development, more proactive approach is needed to keep current shows running. In essence, McMahon is saying by the time the show is canceled, it may already be too late. In calling for fans to be vocal and active, McMahon is tapping a resource he knows is there and has been crucial in the past. Is it too soon for the Save Star Trek Lower Decks hashtag? Perhaps, but viewer engagement that is likely to show support for Star Trek Lower Decks would be sharing the show on social media, purchasing on DVD or Blu-ray, and of course, rewatching episodes currently available on Paramount Plus. Maybe watch Star Trek Lower Decks would be more apt. And that's pretty much it for the article. Anyway, so that is the article. The showrunner is, well, he says he's not very concerned, and he says it's not time to worry yet. But this tells me it is time to worry that Star Trek Lower Decks is probably on the chopping block. Now, he's saying, the article is saying that you should get more eyes to watch the show. You should rewatch episodes that are already streaming. You should buy physical copies of the DVD. And this is all telling me one thing. There isn't a big enough audience to support this show, and Paramount is likely seriously considering giving this show the axe. Now, I don't want to go on a big soapbox. I have watched it. I am in the process of watching it. I have Season 2 right here. I bought it off of I bought it on eBay for like $15. You can easily get this stuff cheap on eBay because, quite frankly, this stuff isn't selling, and I think eBay sellers are selling this at a loss. But I am watching this stuff on DVD, and I'm halfway through season 2, and I'm sorry, so far I'm just not liking the show. The attention to detail, I actually have to give the show credit, is really good. Like, you can tell some people on this show really like it, and I have a hunch that some people on this show just really hate Star Trek, and you never know which episode is going to win out. But, I don't like the humor. I don't like this kind of crass humor in Star Trek. I just don't think it's appropriate, and personally, I would dare say there should be less eyes on Star Trek Lower Decks. Send a clear message that, you don't like low IQ, parodies of what used to be brilliant sci-fi. That's just my opinion. What do you think? Do you like Star Trek Lower Decks? Do you hate Star Trek Lower Decks? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section, please. If the theory is correct that the WGA and actors strike was a smokescreen for studios to cancel shows that they kind of got buyer's remorse on, this could be the next one. Star Trek Lower Decks, could be the canary in the coal mine to see what other shows that Paramount doesn't really want to keep around. We'll find out if this is true, though. But this article is a bit telling. This article would not exist if the showrunner wasn't terrified that his show is about to get axed. And that's all I gotta say about this. No, like I said, nobody's really talking about it. Maybe this isn't a big enough deal for anyone to talk about it, but it just kind of struck a chord with me, and so I figured I'm just gonna share my thoughts on it. Please, again, tell me yours. I think that's it. I think that's all I gotta say. Please, you know the drill. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Give me your thoughts. And I think that's it. I'm done for right now. I'm JimClassic. You have been watching Geekin It, and I will see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.